I have an email here sitting in front of me, and I was going to answer the email and then make a video later, but I thought, why not just do them both at once, since I'm going to make some kind of answer to this email. So that's what we're going to do here, and this is going to involve one-nightus, you know, the cute coworker from work, and missing your shot. That's going to be kind of the theme. Luke says this: Hi, John. Over the last week, I have subscribed to your channel. I'm really valuing the advice and content you have put out. As you should as well, guys. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. If you're not hitting the bell notification, well, you're just not part of the notification squad, are you? I got a situation that I would value your advice on. I'm going to give you just as much detail as possible so you get the picture and you can decide what is relevant. I really like this girl at work. I'm not going to lie. I have a bit of one-nightus for her, and I know I shouldn't. Okay, at least he's aware of this. Things were going well before the lockdown. We joked and flirted a lot throughout the days at work. However, she is now in a relationship with some other guy outside of work. I don't know the guy and have only seen his Facebook profile. I have mixed feelings about it and wonder if you could offer some advice on my feelings. So I will say one thing about the lockdown. Well, a lot of girls locked down. All right, so at first I was annoyed that it wasn't me and she had chosen what I would perceive to be someone lower value than me. To give context, I'm 22, I do weight training every day, have solid finances, a good car, and would say I've got a fun and playful personality. This sounds like a... This is directly from his Tinder profile. No, I'm a trainee accountant. Sometimes I think, oh well, her loss, there is only one of me and this other guy isn't me, but other times I feel sad and down about it. Maybe I'm being a bit egotistical. I wouldn't say it's egotistical. I mean, it's just, you're going to feel that way. Okay, I get it. All right. I'm grateful I'm working at home and not in the office now as we sit in the same room. But even still, she is in loads of Microsoft Team chats and in my friendship circle. I thought the best way would be to just try and block her out. No more joking and flirting with her, which our friendship/relationship was based on. I have just been ignoring general social chats we are in together and just answering work-related questions. However, my colleagues and herself are noticing that I'm not being the same person. Today she was messaging if I was okay and stuff. In general, not about her relationship. What should I do about this? I don't feel like ignoring her is a long-term solution. Okay, so let's talk about being butthurt. People notice when you're butthurt, and the reason why they notice is because you want them to notice. Now, I know, you know, it's hard to come to terms with this, but most likely in this situation, and maybe you're not, okay, but I'm going to just give it to you as you've given it to me because this is an email. Anyway, the best thing to do in this situation is to not be butthurt, but also to not necessarily reward her for behavior that you don't like. And again, you know, doesn't matter who she dates to you. No, not necessarily, but why would you give her your attention or value or joke with her or flirt with her when it's not reciprocated or she hasn't really earned that, right? So she's seeing this guy. To you, it feels like a slap in the face, okay? Because you were flirting with her and stuff, and you thought maybe something's going to happen, and then, you know, she's just seen this other guy. And so what you need to do in this situation is, in general, guys, when you're in this situation, you need to just act normal, but then remove yourself from the environment, right? Don't interact with the girl that has friend zoned you, which essentially what's happened here, right? Don't interact with her. Don't be her friend, okay? Don't be mean to her. Instead, just act normal, and just don't invest, okay? Don't invest. Don't make jokes. Don't like offer rides. Don't do any kind of stuff that you do, like, because you're not her friend, right? Okay, and the problem is you friend zoned yourself. Like, you got into the friend zone by coming across as a friend. Now she's going to treat you like a friend, so you have to really set the standards. Like, hey, I'm not a friend. I don't need girls that are my friends. I'm good. I have plenty of friends. I have plenty of guy friends. Don't need girls that are my friends. Again, it's not something you're saying. It's something you're communicating, because you're not going to actually like interact with her as a friend. All right. And this is the problem from the beginning. See, in the beginning of any kind of interaction with a woman, all right, it's very critical that you establish that you are interested in her romantically only, that you're not interested in anything else besides her romantically, okay? If you don't establish that, what we call a man to woman from the beginning, then you're going to basically drop into the friend zone in most cases, right? So you need to establish that early on, and that's not what happened here. So let's read a little bit on, and then you guys will see, and we'll talk about this. So I feel like she still has some value to my own life. We used to share lifts to work, taxis for nights out before lockdown, and she is good at certain things at work. Should I continue being what I was even though she isn't interested? I don't want to be nasty about the situation, but at the same time, I have too much self-respect to be some kind of second choice validation guy she uses when she needs. I wanted to be more than just friends and asked her out back in February. She said maybe. Obviously that is a no, but I thought she was playing hard to get. Okay, I don't want to leave my company as it has good pay, pays for my exams to qualify. It would be an issue finding a new one with the current job market in the UK. Moreover, I haven't done anything wrong, and I feel valued by the company. Grateful for any comments or advice you can offer on the situation, and myself, please don't hold back. By the way, your video on why you will always be alone from a few years ago is great insight. I've been listening to it a couple times each day to try and change my perception in life. Okay, so the video, how to be alone, we'll put that up here. Okay, so you've asked her out in February. Now the problem is that, again, maybe she's not attracted to you, and that's fine, but I'm gonna guess that you just weren't aggressive. Now this is hard, okay? So I did a video about how to have sex with a coworker, okay, or with a woman from work. I think we'll put a link up there as well. It's not as bad as what it sounds, okay, guys? Just watch the video, all right? What I'm basically saying is that you have to be careful. It's probably not even worth it, right? But if you're going to do it, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's a bad choice. Well, how many relationships start from people who met at work? It's a large number, okay? It's a really large number, because most men in the real world or people in the real world, they meet through work or like through church or through I don't even know what, right? They're not just going out and cold approaching in, social circles or whatever. Anyway, so it's not that uncommon historically. But at the same time, you have to be careful. In that video, I was talking about how you could be careful in doing that. But it doesn't preclude you from the rules of the game, which is, like I said, is that if you're going to go after a woman, you have to make it very clear. Your intentions have to be clear, not necessarily overtly direct, okay, but they should be direct in their nature, in the intent. Okay, what I mean by this is that you have to make it clear that you're interested in her. Now, if you just ask a girl at work to go out with you, it's really not the best way to handle this situation. It's better to say something a lot less committal, because the problem with the girl in the situation with the work, and you, is that if she goes out on an official date with you and she doesn't like you, there's going to be problems for her and for you at work, okay? Instead, it's better to be like, hey, I'm going to go out with a couple of friends tonight. We're going out to this bar. You're invited. Why don't you come, right? Something like that is a lot better. Now you're really leaving it to her to decide, and she's gonna, if she chooses coffee, she's not interested. If she chooses get a drink after work, okay, she's interested, right? So you're creating these very low pressure situations, right? But you're being pretty direct in your intent. Like, she's gonna read your intent. So what I would say, again, in this situation is it's already kind of messed up. You're already kind of in the friend zone, And when you asked her out in February, it wasn't a good move because of what I said. And so it kind of put that spot where she couldn't really, it would have been better for you to engineer it in a different way, or to not even broach this at all because she's an attractive woman at work. Now, I understand, hey, attractive woman at work, you see her all the time. You're going to want to make some kind of move, and good on you for actually trying to make a move. But it's got to be the right kind of move. And if it falls, then you get in this shitty situation where you got to see this girl every day. So there's a couple things I would say about this. So first of all, we already talked about, the general approach you should have with her now, which is just ignore her. Like, do not interact with her. Okay. Don't obsess about her. Just, she's just some hot girl that you can't have. That's it. There's a lot of them, so don't act butthurt. Just interact normally, but don't invest at all. Okay. No more sharing lifts to work, no more taxis at night or any of that stuff. Right. Unless, the only exception to this is if you then make an attempt. Like, you could try one more time. You could say, just fucking ignore the boyfriend or whatever is going on and just say, hey, I'm going to this bar with a couple of drinks, or get a couple of drinks with some friends, or I'm having this party or whatever, and just invite her to the damn thing. And then, and then make some damn moves on her. You know what I mean? Like, be perceptive, but that's it. That's the only way you're out of this situation. But it's very low probability, and it could cost you your job. Just so you know, okay? If so what's better for you to do in general is to just go ahead and create more options for yourself. Okay. The problem is, like all one-nightitis problems have to do with your abundance or lack of abundance. If you've got all kinds of girls that you are, you have access to, okay, then you're not going to care if this one girl from work, it doesn't matter. All right. You're not going to get one-itis when you have access. So you need to build yourself up to have that one-itis. Now, you're doing good, right? You're 22, you're successful, right? But that's not enough. Women don't know all these things about you. What they do know is what you appear from your social status, right? Status is so important. Okay. And so you just have to get good at game. You have to get good at these interactions and develop that skill. And if you do that, then then you'll be able to portray yourself as more man. It's hard. It's hard when you're 22, when you're young. You're just going to have to develop the skill. So one thing I would say also, if you haven't already, join the Bulldog Mindset membership, because within there, I have a lot of lessons on games specifically, and how to handle these kind of situations, and how to communicate in a direct but not overt way, which is really, really important in dealing with women. Absolutely. Also, there's a community of guys, right? So you can bounce ideas off of other guys. We have a huge Facebook group with over 600 members in there. A lot of experienced guys that have a lot of experience with women and these kind of situations. And, you might be able to get some good answers and find out some things in there. And then, just challenging yourself, right? Being in a group of men that are successful with women will help you, that, in the Bulldog mindset. So anyone who joins is gonna, benefit from that group, and you can contribute to it as well. It sounds like what you got going on there, so as well. So anyway, that's it. That's what I would say about this situation, Luke. And guys, if you haven't already, like I said, like I just told Luke, join the Bulldog Mindset membership. $7 for the first month on the trial membership. So you can try it out for $7 for the first month, get access to all the stuff. And if you don't like it, you can always just unsubscribe at any time. It's not a big deal. But most of the guys that sign up do stay on, because it's so valuable, because you get to interact with me directly. We do live Q&As. We have all the lessons that come out every week. A lot of cool stuff in being part of that group. You need to find a group of men. If it's not Bulldog Mindset, then find some other group of men, but be within a group of men, especially with everything going on right now, where you can't necessarily be out there in the physical world sometimes with a strong group of men. So yeah. So guys, also remember, when you are in this situation at work and you see a hot girl, probably the best thing you can do is nothing at all. Okay? Just completely ignore her, and do not try and flirt. Do not try, because you're going to put yourself in this shitty situation that Luke is in, right? Because it really is a shitty situation, right? So you just want to kind of just make it off limits. That's my advice, right? Go learn some game, go learn some pickup, go and don't shit where you eat. Okay. Now I understand that, sometimes it's going to be a complicated situation, but if you just ignore some girl from work and she starts coming after you, then great. Then that's awesome. Okay. And that's more likely to happen in that kind of a situation where your value is demonstrated every day, right? If you go to a bar, girls are not going to come up to you and approach you. Okay. Very rarely. Okay. Very, very rarely. All right. But if you're at a workplace and you are there every day, well, maybe she could actually develop a crush on you based on your value, and then actually start flirting with you and approach you and whatnot. Like if you let her initiate it at work, like, again, what I mean is by, the subtle initiation. She's not just going to directly ask you out, but then you can sort of, that you're not going to get rejected. That it's on because she's initiating it from there. So that's my general advice, because you don't want to be in this situation. It's not fun. So, all right, guys, make sure you watch the video on how not to be alone. Also, another good video for you is why alpha males do not have a low tolerance for women. It's one of the top videos on the channel right now, because it's important advice that you need to know if you want to actually exhibit that alpha maleness.